Today we're counting down the top 5 luxury all-inclusive resorts in Punta Cana, and we're breaking down exactly why each one made the list.
Because, I mean, let's be honest, the word luxury gets thrown around a lot these days.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever dropped, $5,000 on a vacation, only to find yourself setting an alarm for 6 a.m. just to fight for a pool chair.
Yeah, that is not luxury. That's a headache.
Exactly.
Okay.
So today, we're separating the marketing fluff from actual 5-star delivery. We're specifically looking at Punta Cana proper, meaning the traditional resort corridors of Bávaro and Uvero Alto.
Right, and we should clarify, we are purposefully excluding the separately gated Cap Cana development down to the south.
Yeah, we want to make sure we're giving you an honest apples-to-apples comparison of the traditional resort market here.
Exactly. And this countdown, going from number 5 all the way to number 1, it's the result of some pretty extensive research across more than 20 properties.
It's not just based on who has the best Instagram ads, right?
Definitely not. We applied incredibly strict criteria to isolate genuine luxury. We're analyzing the actual mechanics of hospitality, so things like service consistency, true room quality, and most importantly, legitimate all-inclusive delivery.
Right, because nobody wants to book an all-inclusive and then get nickel and dime the whole week.
We have zero interest in properties that secretly hand you a bill for the things that actually matter.
Yeah, totally. And look, each of these 5 resorts fits a completely different type of traveler. They all solve a different kind of vacation problem. So I highly encourage you to stay with us until the very end to discover which property earned that definitive number 1 spot.
It's a really interesting list.
It really is. So welcome to this deep dive on Resortia. And hey, before we jump into the first resort, if you find this breakdown helpful for planning your next trip, take a quick second to like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us keep bringing you these deep dives.
So let's get right into it and look at how the concept of luxury has evolved, starting with our first property.
Yeah, kicking off our countdown at number 5.
We have the Paradisus Palma Real Golf and Spa Resort.
But specifically, we're looking at the Reserve, right?
Yeah.
The adults-only wing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It earned this number 5 spot by essentially mastering the whole resort within a resort business model.
Which is super popular right now.
It is. They took this purpose-built luxury adults-only experience and just layered it inside a massive established 5-star brand.
And they did it on the absolute best stretch of sand in the entire area, Bávaro Beach.
Right, because hospitality brands do this to leverage the prime real estate they already own. Rather than buying new land, they carve out this VIP sanctuary that uses the immense infrastructure of the main property.
So let's talk about what's actually included when you book the Reserve wing.
Basically, you're getting a completely different operational standard.
Right.
It includes dedicated concierge service, exclusive adults-only pools that the rest of the resort's guests simply cannot access.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, and they have something they call a destination-inclusive experience.
Oh, right, where they bake the off-property excursions directly into your room, right? So things like private beach yoga sessions, catamaran outings, that kind of thing.
Exactly. But I know you had some thoughts on this model.
Yeah, I have to push back on this a bit. I mean, doesn't sharing grounds with a massive family resort completely kill the secluded luxury vibe?
How do you mean?
Well, you are literally sharing a property line with thousands of other people, kids running around next door,
I get that, but it really comes down to what kind of psychological environment you want on vacation. Think of it like flying first class on a massive A380 jumbo jet.
Okay.
You are on the exact same plane as hundreds of other people, right?
Right.
But you have a private lounge, wider seats, a completely different set of rules.
But this is about having that escape hatch.
Exactly. The trade-off is you get the vibrant energy, the massive theater productions, the sprawling mega pools of the larger resort, but you have the literal key card to retreat into a private sanctuary the second you want quiet.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's move on to the rooms. What are we looking at here?
You're stepping into very elegant, traditional, colonial Hispanic design.
Very classic Caribbean.
Right. But they didn't just leave it at that. They went through recent renovations that specifically added brand new swim-up room categories.
Oh, nice. Because, I mean, in the Caribbean market, a swim-up suite is basically the ultimate social currency.
Oh, 100%. Adding those inventory blocks keeps the property highly competitive.
Okay, so food and drinks. Reserve guests get access to elevated dining within the larger complex, right?
They do, giving you a wider rotation of menus. But, and this is important, we have to talk about the structural limitation that kept this resort at number 5 instead of climbing higher.
Ah, right. The liquor policy.
Yeah. Premium liquor is billed as an extra charge here. It is not included in the standard all-inclusive rate.
Which is tough. I mean, when you are paying luxury prices, feeling nickel and dimed for a top-shelf cocktail, it just creates immediate friction, you know?
It really does. It impacts the whole guest experience.
So bringing it to the price, you can expect the Reserve to run an estimated $400 to $700 or more per night.
And how should people book this one?
If this hybrid mega resort model fits your travel style, the smartest financial move is to book 4 to 6 months out using Expedia.
Right, to compare those live prices.
Exactly. You leverage those platforms to easily compare dates and, most importantly, secure a refundable rate. High season inventory vanishes, but you want that safety net in case your plans shift.
Yeah, that's crucial. But hey, if you think this layered resort model delivers impressive value, wait until you see what earned the 4th spot.
Oh, absolutely. If you want true 5-star luxury but are trying to maximize your budget, our number 4 pick is the smartest play.
Taking the 4th spot is Excellence El Carmen.
This property earned its position by being the absolute strongest accessible luxury entry point in the Uvero Alto corridor.
Accessible luxury is the perfect term for it. It clears all the hard, non-negotiable operational thresholds for a luxury property.
But it offers genuine price relief compared to the very top of the market.
Exactly. It proves you don't need to empty your bank account to get phenomenal service.
So what's included here? Because this one abandons that layered model we just talked about, right?
Yeah, entirely. This is a fully standalone, adults-only property. Everyone is on the exact same playing field.
Which I love.
The standout inclusions here really revolve around sheer convenience. They offer highly rated 24-hour room service, and they stock the in-room fridges with full-sized bottles and premium snacks at no extra cost.
Which sounds like a minor detail, but honestly, having full-size bottles in the room is huge.
It is. The logistics of maintaining that level of in-room inventory across an entire property requires a massive, highly coordinated staff effort.
Let's talk about the rooms.
Yeah.
Because this is where the economics of this resort get really interesting.
Yeah, the overarching architecture is a bit boxy, maybe slightly less distinctive than the colonial palaces on this list.
Right, but the standout functional feature is their rooftop terrace suites, which include private plunge pools.
And being able to secure a private plunge pool at this accessible price point is a massive win for the guests.
Oh, totally. From a business perspective, the resort spends a little extra on plumbing and concrete up front, but it allows them to charge a premium for the room.
While still undercutting the ultra-luxury villas down the street. It's brilliant.
Okay, moving to food and drinks. They boast 6 on-site restaurants.
But we need to look at how resorts at this tier actually manage their food costs.
Yeah, because 6 venues sounds incredible on paper, right? But can you actually get into them?
That's the catch. Typically, only 2 of those are open for lunch. This is a classic hospitality mechanic. They limit daytime dining to strictly control food waste and staffing costs while most guests are at the beach.
Which makes sense for them, but for the guest, that creates a noticeable midday bottleneck where you might be waiting for a table.
Exactly. Furthermore, because they are stretching their culinary budget to offer luxury pricing, some dishes occasionally suffer from inconsistent ingredient quality.
You get what you pay for, to an extent.
Right.
So how does this translate to the wallet? Excellence El Carmen generally runs an estimated $450 to $750 per night.
And here is where understanding resort jargon becomes a huge advantage, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. Upgrading to their entry-level club tier is often a much better value strategy than just jumping straight to the most expensive room category.
Because the club tier structurally upgrades your whole vacation.
Yeah, it gives you access to a separate private check-in lounge, so you skip the lobby line, you get exclusive pool areas, and elevated service. You're essentially buying time and convenience without maxing out your budget on a massive suite.
It's the smart play. Now, our next resort takes a completely different approach, going massive on amenities without losing its boutique soul.
Moving into our top 3, this next one is fascinating. Coming in at number 3 is Live Aqua Punta Cana.
It earned this position by being the strongest large-scale luxury performer in Punta Cana proper.
It's massive, but it manages to combine an internationally award-winning spa and a huge restaurant count with genuine Forbes travel guide level service.
Achieving that kind of personalized service standard on a massive footprint, it's honestly one of the hardest things to do in the hospitality industry.
It really is. So let's look at the inclusions. It's an incredibly robust, adults-only package.
Yeah, booking this property gets you access to their Aqua Club lounge, which comes with dedicated butler service.
But the sheer scale of the amenities is the real draw here. You get access to over 96,000 square feet of pools,
96,000! It's crazy.
including this visually striking infinity pool that stretches right toward the ocean.
And you get full access to the Feel Harmony Spa, an installation that was globally recognized as the best spa brand in the world.
Now, regarding the rooms, a 96,000 square foot pool complex sounds like it would feel like a crowded water park, right?
You'd think so.
But the room architecture completely changes the psychology of this space. The resort opened recently, in February 2021, so the rooms maintain an impeccable low-wear standard.
And the brilliant design choice was using low-rise architecture.
Exactly. Tower blocks create wind tunnels and make you feel like you are in a human warehouse. By keeping the buildings low to the ground and spreading them out, they disperse the crowds.
So you get a much more intimate, almost boutique feel, despite the massive footprint.
Right. So let's talk about food and drinks. The dining operation here is pretty wild.
They feature 8 different international restaurants. We're talking Italian, Asian, French, Mediterranean, Mexican, Dominican.
Okay, I have to stop you there.
Yeah.
Because whenever a resort tries to cook 8 entirely different global cuisines under one roof, the quality usually falls off a cliff.
It's true.
I mean, the supply chain gets stretched too thin, the culinary staff can't possibly master 8 different flavor profiles. It's the classic trap of trying to be everything to everyone.
That is the exact trap most mega resorts fall into. But Live Aqua's data proves they actually bypassed it.
Really?
Yeah. They hold a 9.0 out of 10 aggregate guest satisfaction score across thousands of reviews.
That's incredibly high for that kind of volume.
It is. They maintain that Forbes-level standard by heavily investing in specialized culinary teams rather than just cross-training one kitchen to cook everything. They deliver on the immense variety without sacrificing the execution.
Wow. Okay, so price-wise, you're looking at an estimated $400 to $650+ per night.
And the booking strategy here is all about bundling, right?
Yep. When you're dealing with a property of this scale, your best booking strategy is heading over to Expedia to compare bundled vacation packages.
Because large-scale resorts frequently negotiate bulk rate discounts with major airlines.
Exactly. If you bundle your flight and the resort together in one transaction, it can meaningfully lower your effective nightly rate. You score top-tier luxury for a mid-tier price.
Such a good tip. Well, we're now entering the strongest properties on today's list, and they separated themselves from the pack for very different reasons.
Now we're down to our top 2. Taking the number 2 spot is JOIA Bávaro by Iberostar.
This earned the number 2 position by delivering the classic, highly developed Bávaro Beach luxury experience.
Alongside the single highest aggregate guest satisfaction score of any resort we researched, sitting at a 9.4 out of 10.
Which is almost mathematically impossible for an all-inclusive because at that volume, someone is always unhappy.
Always. Someone's soup is too cold and it ruins their whole trip.
Right. But to drive a score that high, the inclusions have to be flawless.
But what's in the package?
Well, it's an adults-only property that delivers 24-hour room service, butler service, and dedicated concierge service as the baseline.
But the massive operational inclusion here is the cross-access to the sister Iberostar properties located on the same complex.
That single perk is huge. It grants you access to up to 20 different dining venues total.
Wait, 20?
Yeah, 20. Plus an on-site archery range and a nightclub. It essentially turns your hotel key into a passport for a small city.
That's insane. But let's talk about the rooms, because classic luxury can sometimes be a double-edged sword.
It can.
It features this sweeping Mediterranean palace architecture, which looks incredibly grand when you pull up to the lobby.
Very impressive.
But I've heard rumors, a lot of travelers feel that this property feels a bit older compared to the cutting-edge, minimalist builds-up in Uvero Alto. Is that true? Does a 9.4 rating mean the rooms are perfect?
Well, you have to separate the public infrastructure from the private quarters. The resort went through the JOIA rebrand in 2025 and 2026, which completely refreshed the public spaces, the pools, and the dining concepts.
Okay.
But you are right to point out that the rooms themselves are traditional. Guests find them to be incredibly comfortable and immaculately clean, but they are undeniably a bit dated stylistically.
So you are trading modern aesthetics for classic scale and flawless service.
Exactly.
Okay, let's look at the food and drinks, specifically the logistics of feeding guests across 20 venues.
Right, so you have unlimited meals across 7 on-site restaurants, 5 of those being a la carte, and 2 buffets, plus all the venues at the sister properties.
But having 20 restaurants creates a massive table management problem.
It does. The limitation you absolutely must know is that the dinner reservation system for the a la carte restaurants can be incredibly frustrating during peak occupancy.
Because the algorithm prioritizes availability, right?
Yeah. Meaning, if you don't meticulously plan your meals days in advance, you'll find yourself locked out of the prime 7:00 p.m. slots and eating dinner at 9:30 at night.
Which is definitely not ideal.
Mm.
So pricing for JOIA Bávaro is estimated at $450 to $800+ per night.
And because this property relies so heavily on outdoor infrastructure and cross-resort walking, the pro booking tip here is to target the shoulder seasons.
Let's unpack what the shoulder season actually means for your wallet. We're talking about the transition months, so May to June or late August through November.
Right. During these windows, hotel occupancy drops as kids go back to school, forcing algorithms to slash those nightly rates.
Exactly. So if you book these specific windows, you experience a 9.4 rated property at a steep discount without a material drop in weather reliability.
The final 2 resorts separated themselves for very different reasons, bringing us to the ultimate tier of hospitality.
And finally, the moment we've been building toward, taking the #1 spot for 2026.
Is Zoetry Agua Punta Cana.
It earned first place because it most completely delivers on what the term luxury all-inclusive actually means at the guest experience level.
It really abandons the mega resort arms race entirely. It scores at the absolute top on service, dining depth, and spa quality by focusing 100% on intimacy rather than scale.
Which brings us to the inclusions. They skew heavily toward adults and couples, and they just rewrite the rules of resort operations.
They deliver dedicated butler service to every single guest.
Wait, not just the top-tier VIP suites.
No, everyone gets a butler. Their endless privileges package includes horseback riding, a full hydrotherapy circuit, and daily yoga at no extra charge.
Okay, but wait, I have to challenge this choice for #1.
Okay, lay it on me.
To get to this property, you have to endure a 45-minute drive from the airport. The final access road is notoriously rough, and once you get there, there is almost zero nightlife. No theater shows, no DJs. How is a place with so little going on taking the #1 spot?
Because true luxury isn't about what a resort adds to your vacation. It's about what they remove. It's the luxury of omission.
The luxury of omission. I like that.
When you are operating at this level, true luxury is never having to wake up at 6 a.m. to claim a beach chair. It's never waiting in a line. It's never hearing a bass-heavy DJ when you're trying to read a book.
So the isolation is the point.
Yes. The quiet isolation, the rough access road that keeps the crowds away, and the highly personalized service far outweigh the lack of party energy. It is an absolute sanctuary.
Yeah, okay. And at $900 a night, you are no longer just paying for a bed and a meal. You are paying for absolute friction-free living.
And the rooms reflect that exclusivity.
Yeah, there are only 92 suites in total on the entire property. I mean, in the Punta Cana market, 92 rooms is practically a private estate.
It really is. And every single one of those suites went through a major renovation cycle in 2025 and 2026, ensuring the physical hardware matches the exorbitant price tag.
Let's talk about food and drinks. That tiny 92-room scale dictates exactly how they handle the culinary side.
The culinary operation is 100% a la carte. There are 0 buffets anywhere on the property.
Because buffets exist to feed 1,000 people cheaply using chafing dishes, right?
Exactly. By committing entirely to a la carte, they exponentially increase their kitchen labor costs to plate every single dish to order. The food quality is simply unmatched.
But there's a limitation to know about.
Right, the scale. With only 92 suites, it can only financially sustain 3 restaurants. So if you are staying longer than 5 or 6 nights, you will likely cycle through the menus more than once.
But the execution of those meals is flawless, so it's a trade-off most are willing to make.
Absolutely.
For the ultimate experience, it comes with an ultimate price tag. You're looking at an estimated $650 to $900+ per night, depending on the suite category and the season.
And how do we book this one?
Because this top-tier property requires booking so well in advance to secure one of those 92 rooms, you need a hedging strategy. When booking online, carefully compare the refundable versus non-refundable rates.
Paying a slight premium for the refundable rate protects your massive investment in case life gets in the way.
Exactly. So looking back at our countdown, the best resort completely depends on what you value most as a traveler.
Right, from the massive restaurant variety and scale at Live Aqua,
To the classic beach energy and amenity network at JOIA Bávaro.
all the way to the ultimate quiet wellness sanctuary at Zoetry Agua.
And remember, we strictly excluded Cap Cana today to keep things geographically fair for Punta Cana proper.
But travelers willing to look at those separately gated enclaves have even more ultra-luxury options down there, which leaves us with a fascinating reality to think about. Well, with separately gated mega luxury developments like Cap Cana raising the bar so incredibly high in recent years, standard Punta Cana resorts are going to be forced to completely redefine what all-inclusive means over the next 5 years just to stay relevant.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, will the traditional mega buffet resort soon be entirely obsolete?
It's definitely something to think about before you drop your credit card on your next getaway. The landscape is changing fast.
It really is.
Well, keep exploring, keep researching, and keep making smart travel choices. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.